Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with FX Market Insight for Monday, the 15th of June. All right, now as we come into, we're pretty much, 3/4 through the Asian session here, just coming into the start of the European session, and we're starting to see the US dollar, those moves we saw at the end of last week, really sort of probably coming home. I mean, the US dollar hasn't taken off, but what we're seeing with the news, an increase in coronavirus resurgence in China. There's talk of Texas and a few other US states also going back into full lockdown. So, and with that, you put on the political unrest in the US, it's going to create huge tension here. And I think we're going to see the US dollar bounce as the safe haven trade, the US dollar safe haven trade comes back into play. Asian equities, if I just bring you back to that first page, you'll see that Asian equity markets are getting a bit of a pummeling, down 2%. I would expect that to roll into the European session. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. But, the problems are in the US. So I think the US equity market's probably going to be the one to watch. Now, if I can just bring you across to the other charts, what have we got here now? There's a couple of things happening now. Euro is already broken down. Okay, we saw that break down through sort of 112.90 on Thursday, Friday. Sterling was getting belted most of the week, and dollar CAD has reacted to the top side. The safe haven trade dollar yen is now pretty much trading sideways. This leaves the Aussie and Kiwi, to me, in pretty good spots. They'll play catch up, right? Euro and sterling have already gone down. I'm starting to think that one of the best trades of the week could be looking at Aussie and Kiwi, looking for some follow through on the downside, just to catch up with Euro and sterling. Now, if I bring you back to the Forex Daily Market Insight, you can get a bit more detail here now, just with the dollar, some of the dollar pairs, right? So dollar yen and dollar Swiss, they're sort of caught up in that pseudo safe haven trade themselves. Now, I think the market's trying to work out, do we buy yen and Swiss, or do we just bypass those and just go straight in and buy US dollars? I think it's the latter, buy US dollars. And that's going to put downward pressure on, well, it already is on Euro and sterling, and Aussie and Kiwi have been drifting lower. But these two pairs here look, to me, primed for a bit of a belting lower. Now, if I just come down to the sort of the trading tips, this week's best technical setups, you know what? It's like you can see what's happening. Okay, we've got two good trend lines here. Aussie around 68.10 and Kiwi around 64 the figure. Now, they've just gone through these in the last hour whilst I've been updating the site and the analysis. But to me, there's probably a couple hundred points in these pairs through the course of the week, especially if we see, from the shooting in the US, I think it was in Atlanta over the weekend. That's going to have a ripple-on effect. As I said, the coronavirus situation in China is already going a little bit pear-shaped. If this goes into the second wave, well, then you know what? The US dollar is going to go through the roof. So anyway, to start the week, these two pairs to me look to be the best options to be looking at. And if you want to just click on the read more for those traders who have access, you'll see the full trade details here with the Kiwi and the Aussie. All right, so that's what I'm seeing at the moment. Last week it was a bit of to and fro. I think this week we may have some clearer activity. I think if US equities come back, this is what we want to see we want to see Monday, US equity markets get hit and the US dollar rally. That way we know it sort of confirms that the US dollar safe haven trade is on, and the dollar index itself could rally 300 points, and that should see Euro, Sterling, Aussie, Kiwi down at least a couple of hundred as well. All right, so that's the way I'm sort of approaching the start of the week. Now, don't forget, Monday, a lot of this news is in the North American or in the USA. You really want to see that session open up and see what the impact on the equity markets and the currencies at that point. That's where we will get confirmation of these moves. All right, guys, have a good trade week. Plenty to play for. As bad as it is, as a trader, if you're looking to make money, the wave two would be, unfortunately, a good thing, but not good for social side of things. All right, guys, have a good week. Cheerio.